Good morning everyone, it's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and it is time to take a look at the new Host of Wonder Milim Nava. She is another water physical unit, so she matches pretty well with EX Reamer who came out last meta, so that's nice. She uses a hammer, which, if Carnival, she's smacking that thing, then you ding the bell. Makes a whole bunch of sense. Very, very quickly, she's got a single target physical attack. At EX ult, it's 1.5 times multiplier. First skill is a 30% attack buff and then a 25% base crit damage, which goes up by 3% every time you use a skill for the first 4 turns, just like Light Xion raises her pierce power by 3% every time you use a skill for the first 3 turns. So she's essentially the crit version of Light Xion. The second skill is a single target orb change blue to green. Xion has a orange to green single target, so it should be very reminiscent. Her Valor trait nerfs blue damage. Her actual trait, if I had it, gives you ult gauge by 7% for the first 3 turns, just like Light Xion. This is Light Xion, crit base. So, if you are familiar with Light 2.0, using Milim will not be any different for you. So it's going to be easy enough to take her into a bunch of fights that are green focused. We're going to put her on a few different teams that are green focused, and we'll see how she does in those setups. So let's get started. Alright, so the first place we're going to go into is EX2 of the new Beatdown battle with, the 2 new units that we have, Frey, Milim. Everyone else here is to support. So we've got Isis for the green the green orb changing, and the green buff is more important really here. Rimuru is here because he has a single target orb change, or single orb change. His pierce resistance down doesn't really matter here because we're not piercing, but it is another cheap skill to use to get another stack of Milim. Also, his protection trait for the first 3 turns will help us. Dark Milim is here because she is a special orb converter, and she has the ult buff, which is good for the team. Milim, obviously a showcase unit, also an orb changer. Rimuru, with Water Xion below him for protection trait. Rimuru has the physical buff and the physical debuff alongside another orb change. And technically it's not going with the flow because he is a blue orb changer, but, whatever. Every single person on this team is an orb changer, including the protector. So it's like, we will never not have orbs. Hopefully. So let's get started. Her stats 10.8 with Hinata attached to her, and 10.1 defense is pretty good for a level 100, baseline EX unit now. So let's go ahead and jump in. The starting hand for Beatdown battle is a special conversion, which, Milim could change automatically, easy. Or if you have Rimuru or Xion alongside the new Milim, you could use both of their orb changes to get a full 6-hand, and that's 2 stacks of the crit damage versus 1 stack that Dark Milim would give. So we're actually going to do that instead because I want the most crit damage possible on this team. So let's go ahead and wait for him to nerf those. We'll bring in Milim for Isis since she's not entirely necessary right now, and then we'll use her orb change and Rimuru's orb change. Milim's first orb change increases the damage that green orbs do until the end of battle. That is a permanent buff. Rimuru's orb change is a 1-turn damage buff for greens for 15%. So because they are 1 permanent and 1 temporary, they both stack. So now we have a 25% buff on the greens for this turn, which is nice. It's very, very nice. So let's go ahead and send Milim first. She'll do the least amount of damage, and then we'll see how much damage we do against Ifrit here. So 8,600 damage with Rimuru. Milim comes in with 13.8, and the 200% orb does 29,000. Alright, that is fairly good right there. So, now, he does put burn on, but we have some orb changing that we can do again. So, let's go ahead and use Dark Milim to change one of these, and then we have the blue, which we can again change with Milim. And then we can bring Isis in to get that green buff going for Dark Milim because you're no longer necessary. We'll get the green buff active. This will boost our gauges up by 50% alongside the forever 20% damage now because Milim did 2 of her skills. And we don't even need to use Frey right now, even though we could, because we're going to overflow on her her gauge, but whatever. We're still trying to stack. We still have 2 more turns to stack crit damage, so I don't really want to use this now. I want to use as many skills as possible before we start using her to orb change, which we're going to have to do here, because that's not the greatest thing in the world. Alright, let's use Isis, her orb change to greens, so that'll cover that. And then we can use... We can bring Milim in again, I guess. We can use her orb change. We can use the Pierce skill down because it doesn't really matter. So that's another 3 skills used this turn. Now we can use Frey. This will give Rimuru and Milim crit, but not Dark Milim because she is a magic user. So then we'll send this. Max points again. 18,000 damage right there. 37.8. Alright, we have an EX alt. We are ready to go. And we are just shy of a double Frey. So actually what I want to do is I want to hold off. So this is turn 4. So anything we use now will still count towards her buff, which is currently sitting at a nice 49%. So let's do some more shenanigansy kinds of things, right? Let's get Dark Milim out of here. Yeah, let's get you out of here. And like, we could nuke now. There's nothing wrong, but I want that extra little bit of gauge right there so we can get those extra 40 points, because then we can use big time nuke. But let's use one more skill just to stack it up. Anything else that's cheap besides this? No? Okay, well, we'll use it anyways. Alright. So, pop, pop. That'll get us Milim. That'll get us enough points to use everything, right? This shouldn't kill because these are nerfed. 12 points right here? 16 points. Let's do that. Okay, pop, pop, and pop. So now, we have 91 skill points plus another 80 coming. So I think we'll be okay. Rimuru, because he's not type advantage, did take quite a hit there. So now we are stacked up to 52% crit damage. This is turn 5, so we are no longer stacking. So nothing we do from here on out will affect how much crit damage she does. So let's go ahead and use that. We'll go ahead and use Frey to give her crit again. And then we'll use the physical buff for Rimuru, because that will hit Milim, because she is physical. Awesome. And then we'll bring in Dark Milim to get that sweet, sweet alt buff going once we use Frey one more time. And now we're going to hit some fun numbers. Alright, we have the EX alt with Milim. She has her own attack, 30% attack buff. She has the 52% crit damage, guaranteed crits, 65% physical attack. We have the 20% physical resistance down on Ifrit, and then we have the 70% attack or alt buff here, plus another 8% from my charm, so 78%. So now we're going to send that, and we're going to need nothing else because he's going to die. And we'll watch the alt because it's the first time I used her today. Smack that thing with a hammer. Send him off to the moon. It kind of reminds me of Fire Milim's alt, right? Fireworks, going up in the air. How much do we do? 635,000 damage on turn 5. That's not difficult at all. Like, at all. Nada. I mean, we could have done it turn 4. But I wanted that extra little bit of gauge. But we could have foregone the alt buff or something, or foregone the physical buff, and we still would have cleared him, because he still would have done like 300,000 damage, if not more. So, I mean, she runs just the same as Shion. She is burst damage. And the fact that we were bringing Isis to give us that big 50% green buff, I mean, we've been using her on any green team for the past, whenever she came out in October, right? We put her on the Light 2.0 team, and it runs a whole lot better. We can get double Shion alts all day. Shion can't take advantage of, a double bar, but Milim can. So that is good right there. That is a very, very, very strong showing. If you don't have EX Rimuru, you could very easily bring, Water Alice. She is an orb changer. She gives people Pierce. and she lowers water resistance, which, you know, would help Milim out. So let's put Milim on a different team without Frey and see how it runs. Actually, let's put her on Light 2.0 with Shizu. All right, Light 2.0. You know, as I would run it. So Shizu, gonna give everyone Pierce, gonna do the 3/3 orb change to 6 greens. Also a 10% alt buff, which, you know, isn't the greatest thing in the world, but, you know, it's better than nothing, right? It's not quite as good as the 40 extra skill points that Frey is giving, but we gotta make do. Xion is our secondary DPS here. You know, technically she will be our primary because we are going into the light tempered edge and she is, you know, stacking Pierce power, but it is whatever. Rimuru, Isis again, mainstays. The hero is here to give Milim the crit though, right? We already have Pierce coming, we have Pierce resistance down, which actually matters now, but we still need a unit to give us crit for Milim, so we brought the hero. Very easily could bring, you know, Fire Milim if you wanted, but now because we have almost a full physical team, we are even higher in stats now, also because Shizu is 100, so we're at 10.9, almost 11,000 attack out of 100 unit with EX Rimuru attached to her. So let's go ahead and start this up. I don't think the hand is set, though, on this Tempered Edge, because it's an older one. So, we'll find out. Massive magic power approaching. Oh my god, it's Shinsha. Alright, let's see how God likes to favor me today. Well, it's not the worst thing in the world. Let's see, let's go ahead and let's get you out of here, because we're trying to focus on Milim here. So let's do that. She is not getting that extra additional damage buff because she's a water unit fighting dark, you know, type neutral. We don't get an extra buff, so we're gonna miss a lot of damage here, but she can still run if you have Shizu. Alright, well that's very nice. Unfortunately, we can't use the green buff yet. But we'll do a lot with next turn because we'll probably use the rewind. So pop, 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 and pop right there. Max skill points, we got Shizu, so we're looking good so far. Next turn, we're going to have to use a lot of skills to really stack up that crit power. And good, we're going to be able to. Excellent. So let's use Rimuru here, let's use Milim here. Alright, let's bring in the hero. Actually, let's use the green buff first. Let's bring the hero in for Rimuru. Use the rewind. Okay, we're looking pretty good so far. We can take the hero out for Xion. And let's see. Let's use her orb change just for funsies because it's another skill. Let's use Shizu. And now, what are we stacked up to now? We're stacked up to 43%. Alright, so we still have one more turn to stack. Xion, after this turn is over, will be capped. So, I mean, she can't do much more than this. But, you know, Milim does have that extra turn. 49, 5,000, and then Xion does quite a bit more because she's type advantage. Yeah, 18,000. Okay, that works out. And now we've used pretty much every skill that we possibly can. So, I mean, doing anything here is not really the best thing to do, but we do have the next turn to use such things. So, and we have no Milim orbs. So, you know, thanks a bunch for that, I guess. Alright, well, I guess we'll use Shizu, because we're going to get her back again anyways. So, let's, yeah, let's use that again, just for funsies, because why not? It's another skill. Pop, pop. We'll send this on you. Alright, so no Milim orbs. Thanks. A bunchies. Pop, 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 pop. And 200%. She's got defense and guard, though, so we're not going to do as much damage there. Okay, is that an almost full natural hand of greens that I see? Because I'm okay with that. Definitely okay with that. Okay, so Shion is done, so we can use her skill, and that will still count towards Milim because it is still a skill. So let's go ahead and use that. Let's use the green buff again. Alright, and then hopefully maybe we can get these guys out of here. Let's move Shion out. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I like that. Alright, let's get you out of here then. And we can use... I mean, technically we could use Shizu to change that one orange, but I want to use this to get us that one more stack. So now we are sitting at 55% crit damage when we're ready to go. So... yeah, I think we just send this. So, pop, 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 pop. Oh, pop, pop, pop. Alright, max points, 100. We got double stack of Shizu, not that it really matters, because she's not going to do anything with additional stacks. We don't have an EX ult, because the game did not want to give me Milim orbs, so we'll see how much damage she does here with just her standard ult, alongside all of her buffs. What is that debuff? What is that debuff? Defense and guard power. Alright, don't care. Okay, so let's use the crit, let's use the pierce resistance down, and then let's use her skill. Yes, let's see how much damage we do. Now we have the pierce, which technically we already had the pierce. So now we've got guaranteed crit, guaranteed pierce, 30% attack, 55% crit damage, and 8% pierce power on the charm, plus 10% ult damage, plus the pierce resistance down, and the crit resistance down on Shion. So, will we do a lot of damage here? I don't actually know. But let's see what we do. So we'll send Milim, and then we'll send the rest of this. So Milim does 77k. Alright, so that is not terribly, great. 77,000 damage, 5 turns. Like, we saw what 5-turn damage was last time compared to this time. We do not have the same buffs going on because this team physically cannot run all those buffs because Shizu doesn't raise cap or give us any additional skill points. So it's what we have to work with. And also, we're not getting that massive 60% damage buff against fire units. So there are a lot of factors going in that, nerfs the damage we do here versus what we previously did. But the team runs the same. Like, we could have brought in Shion. She still had all her buffs to kill Shinsha right here. Like, she's ready to go. We got 2 more ults sitting back here, ready to go. Shion is buffed up as much as possible once we bring in and use the hero buff right here. But I think, because this is Milim Showcase, this is what we're going to work with. So, not overly impressive here, but again, not her most efficient setup. It can still work, though, if it's what you got. If you pull Milim, but you don't pull Frey, you can run Light Shizu. You can still do damage, right? You can still go into beatdown battle and still be okay, because she is, at least type advantage. And you can still run essentially the same. So, let's move on to a different team now. Alright, let's try the Water 2.0 team, stacking water attack. We're going to go into the Tempered Edge. It's unfortunate that this Shuna that we're fighting has permanent crit resistance. It means we kind of have to bring Hinata to seal that, because I would have liked to replace Hinata and then leave the team as is with Light Raphael here instead. But I could bring Fire Milim instead of Hinata, but we're already getting crit from Shion. It seems redundant. I guess we would have another orb change, but I think we're gonna run here. Yeah, we'll run here. None of these are physical units, but they're all water units, and the 3 support units are giving water attack to Milim, so we still have 10.5k attack. I don't know how well this is gonna go. Like, yes, we can stack up the water attack. If we have enough points, we can get a few orb changes here and there. but 4 turns, like I don't know how many actual skills we'll be able to use in 4 turns to really stack up that crit damage. So I don't know if this is the best team to use. Interesting. It's a lot of greens right there. Well, you know what? You know what? We can do this. So you come out. We'll get your orb change in, right? So there we go. Cool beans right there. We'll do that. We'll send this. We are type advantage again. Not using Frey though, so we're not getting the super big buff. Alright, how did this turn out? Not great. Not great at all. We can do that. So, yeah, we can't really do much here. Okay, so we have no Milim orbs either. So thanks a lot. Let's get you out of here. Let's do this. Send these greens. That'll get our first stack of Milim. Hopefully we can orb change right here. Okay, we can make that work. We can make that work. So let's use Shuna's. Alright, let's bring Water Rimuru in for Hinata. Do we have enough points to use? No, we don't. Okay. So let's do this. We will Orb Steal, and then we'll bring Milim in for Rimuru. Good thing he has the most orbs. We'll get the first 10% stack. I think we do get attack nerfed here on turn 3, because yeah, we're losing it here. So maybe it wasn't the best time to bring her in, but it ensures that we're going to keep her up here the entire time now. 5,000 damage. I don't know if this is going to work very well. I think it's a possible substitute, but I don't think it's the best thing in the world. So there's another stack of Milim. We're on turn 4, so anything we use here will carry, and then everything after that will not really do much for her crit damage. So she's currently sitting at... Oh, what am I doing over here? Currently sitting at 34% crit damage. Now remember that Hinata gives herself 40% crit damage, just, you know, straight up, right? 25% attack and 40% crit damage. So will we actually out-damage Hinata here with a normal ult? I don't actually know. We do have an extra, what, 5% attack? Whoop-de-doo. So, it's kind of rough here. So, what can we do? We can bring you in for Xion. We can steal again. And then we could orange and then green, right? So let's orange orb change here, and then the green orb change, and that is the extent of what we're going to get stacks for. Okay. And now we have to keep Milim up front the entire time to lose the attack buff, so let's get Hinata back up here for Water Rimuru. Pop, 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 pop. I want the EX ult, so we're gonna hold here, because 1, I gotta let the debuff wear off, but 2, I want the EX ult, so we're gonna have to leave her up here anyways. So it kind of worked out, kind of not really. All right, so any stacks we do now does not affect the crit damage. So what are we gonna sit at? 43%. So technically now we have eclipsed what Hinata would normally do, because we have an extra 5% attack, we have an extra 3% crit damage. We're going to get the EX ult, so that'll look good. We're getting consistent stacks with Milim right here. So that's, what, the 3rd stack? Yeah, 3rd stack of water attack. Oh, okay, yeah, that works. So let's get you in here. We'll steal all these, and then we'll get Xion back in. Cool. No Milim orbs, though, so yeah, thanks a bunchies. Again and again and again for not giving me orbs for the showcase unit. It's whatever. Alright, we have 2 orbs there. That'll work. Okay. Jesus, an ult and 4 attacks. I kind of forgot she did that. Alright, Hinata, you will come out. We'll orb steal again. And then we'll bring Shuna in to change those 2 oranges. And then we'll get another stack. Okay. We're working. We're working, ladies and gents. Pop, 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 pop. 3,000. 2,000 on the guard. 6,300. Alright. This might get our EX. And actually, I don't think it'll get our EX ult. I don't think it will. Okay. So, I mean, the team can run. Like, if she's a water unit, yeah, you can stack. The water is, it doesn't matter if you're physical or you're magic, you can just stack. But, you know, you want your EX ult, so maybe it'd be better to put, like, the ult stacking charm on Milim instead for the, you know, to hit the highest attacker, or to put the whole, like, secret skills on blue orbs. Maybe that would help as well. I mean, there's a couple things you can do here. Orb change here, and then we'll use Rimaru's greens. We'll get you out here. Rimaru's greens. And then we'll bring Hinata back in. I guess we could use a stack of Hinata now, the extra 5%. I mean, why not? It seals the crit, not that we're critting right now. She's about to lose her defense, it's turn 8. So we're about to lose the attack nerf. I do need a few more orbs to get that EX ult, though. I need at least, like, 2 more. And those are not... Alright, well, at least we can take her out now. So... Oh, yeah, that works. Oh, well, I should have stacked again. Oh, well. It's fine. We'll just do a double stack next turn. This will just go to waste a little bit. Hopefully no one dies. 45, 53. We're doing probably like 7,000 damage now on our normals. Alright. I guess you're coming in for Hinata. You're definitely coming in for Hinata. Okay. Hinata. Alright. I don't know if this is gonna get us the ult. Well, no, I think it will. I think it will. So we have another green incoming. So let's use the orange here. We'll get Shuna out. And then we'll use the green orb change here. Alright. So yeah, now we should have the ult. Alright, the 2 was enough. Cool. 183 skill points. That should be enough to use everything, because we've got 165 plus another 25, so... And then... Oh, wow! Thanks, Shuna. That would have been really unfortunate if you had actually killed Milim there. Alright, so... Pierce resistance, so we don't want to pierce here. It's fine. So we'll bring Shuna in for Rimaru. We'll use the ult buff and the water resistance down. And then we'll bring Hinata in for Shuna. And then we'll use the seal. And then we'll use all 3 of the buffs here. And we'll see how much our EX ult does. So what are we sitting at right now? We're sitting at 87% water attack. Plus another 50 from Xion. Guaranteed crit. Magic attack, which doesn't matter, because she's not magic. 30% attack, 43% crit damage, 70% ult gauge, or ult damage, plus the 10 that we've gotten from the 2 stacks of Hinata. So let's see how much we do. Actually, I want to see how much our normal attack does first. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So 32k, 12k because we pierced there, that's unfortunate. And then the EX ult does 426,000 damage, which would have been more than what Hinata would do in her perfect scenario as well. But we do have the EX ult, so, I mean... Technically, this can work. It's not what I'd say the most efficient thing, because Milim is more built for, you know, burst damage, not stacking, and 25 skill points that become higher and higher and higher, they're not good for using them multiple times a turn, because you just don't have enough points. That's why you're going 8 turns to get the points to use super expensive skills. So this is not the best way to use her, but if it's what you got, I mean, it can work. So let's try one more team, I guess. One more green-focused team, and then we'll call it a day. Alright, I lied. The video's already half an hour long with all this, with the 3 segments of gameplay, so I think we'll just cut here. We'll do more videos on Milim in different locations on different teams as well. But I think for a first showing, she is very strong, very, very, very strong on the new Fantasy Burst team. She is fairly good on, the Light 2.0 Shizu Pierce team, and then she is okay on like the old Water 2.0 stacking meta. The skills just cost too much, and you can't use enough of them to really stack up her crit damage to anything meaningful. So if you have to, then sure, go ahead and use it, but definitely not her best area. But overall, I'm fairly happy with Milim. She is almost a carbon copy of Light Xion, which is not a bad thing as far as, unit design. It just might be a bit boring for people to summon for a unit that you already have, and now that Xion is on the fantasy team, if you have Frey, you don't need Milim. It's nice to have Milim, but you don't need her. So I think she's fairly good, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.